15th sign of the zodiac, Ophiuchus, which is sandwiched between Scorpio and Sagittarius. That means a potential major shake-up for the entire astrological calendar, and your star sign might well change. To understand just what is going on, we are bringing in psychic, spiritual advisor and intuitive astrologer Rose Smith and astrophysicist Dr. Brad Tucker, just to balance things out. Nice to see you both.
Both equally qualified in their fields.
How's it going?
Great. Brad, we'll start with you first. Lots of people, first of all, were questioning what NASA has to do with getting involved with astrology and star signs. Can you explain why they made this discovery and the science behind them?
Yeah, so that's right. And it kind of goes through, they didn't necessarily make a discovery. They were just saying kind of what the constellations are. Because in fact, what we call the 12 constellations of, astrology or the Aquarius, are along what we call the ecliptic. And that is the path along the sun. There's actually 21 around there. Some are small and some we ignore, but some are big. Now, the other thing is there's a body of astronomers that actually say which constellations which, like the Southern Cross, for instance, Cross. That's one of the 88 constellations we have in our skies. And so it was pointing out that, well, there actually is a big 13th situated near Aquarius, as you say, that is Ophiuchus, and it's been around for a while. It's been there, but it's just historically that the Babylonians, when they devised this calendar system, chose to ignore it because 12 was an easy number to divide by. So that's why we have those 12 constellations related to 12 months of the calendar year.
Now, Rose, I have to ask if every astrological sign that I've ever read or instruction, has it all been out the door? So my entire life has been a waste because I was wrong?
Hey.
No, absolutely not. This is just another system. So there's actually several systems as far as astrology is concerned. So I wouldn't get all into a tiz about it because, we are what we are and we know what we are. And so if you were, for example, a Cancerian and under this new system you become a Gemini, then your personality doesn't change at all.
Oh, yes, it does.
So.
Yeah.
But how can it not change, Rose, if all the dates are changing with this new sign?
Just because NASA, we're talking about two different things here, two different paradigms of thought. And NASA is looking at this from a scientific perspective. Fair enough, that's what they do.
Hang on a second. Are you saying astrology isn't scientific?
What part of ology don't you understand, Rose? That's the science.
I'm sorry, I'm an intuitive astrologer and I'm talking spiritually.
Yes, I'm with you.
So this is something totally, a new system. Some people are devising, but Western astrology goes back for many thousands of years and it can be stunningly accurate if you have your date and time of birth and your place of birth. Okay, so I've been doing this most of my life, so I think I know.
You do. Hey, Rose, can I just ask, so is it basically the vibe in the astrology world, which I assume you guys talk to each other and you've known about this for a while, is that we're all just going to just ignore it? We're just going to pretend this never happened and just like the end of an episode of The Simpsons, everything's just going to go back to normal?
No, not at all. Some astrologers are taking it up, but I would say most professional astrologers are not taking it up. Because the system, the Western astrology system that we have works perfectly well. And as I said before, it's stunningly accurate if you have your date and time of birth and your place of birth. So it's a very elegant system based on the zodiac wheel and it's seasonal. It's not just about what the constellations in the sky are saying. It's seasonal based on the seasons.
Okay, Rose. So explain to Sarah, who's really concerned about going from being a Cancer to a Gemini. What does this mean?
Well, she remains a Cancer. So if she wants to adhere to the Western astrology system, if she wants to look at the new system with the 13 star signs based around this recently discovered or recently acknowledged constellation by NASA, absolutely go and investigate it and see what resonates for you. You'll know because you'll be able to feel it if it's correct for you.
So the readings that we read in the newspaper now every day, will Ophiuchus then be put into the newspaper as well, or are we just going to, what's the consensus in the astrological community? Will you just stay with those 12 signs?
I believe so. For a long time, most professional astrologers are continuing on with what they already deal with. I mean, like I said, there's lots of different astrological systems. So there's the Indian Vedic system, for example. More people in the world use that because they're Indian, and there's just, over 1 billion Indians. So it depends and I've looked at that, and there are some really interesting points with the Vedic system, but I do find the Western astrology system more accurate.
Brad, what is your star sign?
I like exploding stars.
You strike me as a Taurian, Brad.
I don't know when my star sign is.
What's your birthday?
Brad is dying on
What's your birthday?
What I do like about the stars is the stars actually do move, right? So the stars over human history move. And in fact, if we look to the first Australians, the indigenous people of this continent, they're actually very great at mapping the positions of stars. So you know Stonehenge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you know Australia has its own Stonehenge?
Where?
It's in Victoria, in Geelong. It's called Wurdi-Wang, and it's 11,000 years old, and it traces the movement of the sun. It's actually a remarkable calendar. And that's kind of the interesting thing, I think, about astrology and that connection is it began in timekeeping, and that's a very important part about how the first people all around the world use the stars to understand times and mappings and that sort of stuff. But they do change with time. So if you have a Southern Cross tattoo, it will be astronomically incorrect in 10,000 years.
You didn't answer the question though, Brad. What's your star sign?
I don't know.
He doesn't know.
What's your
What's
birthday?
your birth date?
I'm birthday in July.
July what?
11.
Ooh, happy birthday. We're very close. You're a Cancerian.
Yeah.
So you're
Oh, good. That's what my wife calls me. That's a different story, though.
tough on the outside, soft in the middle. That sounds about right, doesn't it, Rose?
Brad.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, you two. Thank you so much for clearing all that up.
Everything is okay with the universe.
Everything is fine with the universe.
Balance of the cosmos has been restored.
Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.